Hello, Kim Ware here. I am making a third video today, to my surprise. I'm not sure when I'll have all of these uploaded. I'm just going to follow the Lord on it. I wanted to share this as a warning, sort of an informative sort of video. And it's kind of about sort of where we are technologically speaking in this world, in this nation, and what can actually be accomplished. I'm not going to go through a bunch of information though. I want to try to keep this basic and light, and I just want to talk about this in the context of a warning, and in the context of, what lies ahead and what is happening. Back in 2004, I think it was 2004, I had a series of visions, and they were really difficult. And one of the visions was of a creature that was very robotic, and it had an arm in every nation. And I really didn't understand, what this was. And of course, a lot of time has passed since 2005 or 2004. And I've come to understand that this represents technology. And it was evil, and it is going to be used by evil. The same night that I think it was the same night, it was around the same time that I had that vision of this robotic creature with an arm in every nation, I also had a vision of this winged creature flying across the sky. And at first it looked like a stingray, like the animal, but then it looked like an angel, and it was very beautiful. And then it opened its mouth, and it began to screech, and its face just demented, and it just became this evil demonic face, just horrible. And I saw it flying over, and I asked an angel I saw close by, what is this? And the angel said, it's a nation. And I said, well, where is this nation, or something like that? And the angel basically told me, well, this nation, this rule will be over the earth. So, and I mean, if you've read my blog, or you've heard, I think I've had a video about this in the past, then you can, you remember these things. Well, that wasn't easy to see. America was part of a one world order, if you will. And later, so I had the robotic creature, then I had this vision of this winged creature, and then it was maybe a little bit of time passed, and the Lord showed me about this dark leader that would come and that would rule. And his desire is to rule the world. And God showed me what he looked like with detail. He showed me his heart is so evil and vicious. He is going to be very, very seducing, very charismatic. He is going to claim to be a friend of Israel. He's going to claim to be a descendant of David. And he is going to be lying through his teeth that he has good intentions, that he has the answers to the problems of the world. And the Lord showed me his heart, and it was just void of good. It was void of light. It was dark. So about all these things, every time God gives me a dream or a vision, I don't see it as just information. I also see it as something specifically to pray about. So, anytime you get a dream or a vision from the Lord, I would encourage you, recognize that that is probably the first and most important thing to do, is to begin to pray about the things that God has shown you. And of course, then there's the warning. Well, these things are going to happen. We're steadily heading toward this, these days that are coming. And what happened is, I began to really look at technology and how advanced we are. And I began to understand, the robotic creature is obviously, it's very clear to me now that this is technology. This is smart technology. And it will be used by this wicked man and by the enemy to begin to deceive and to control and to attack and to harm people. I don't know how many of you have heard of the voice of God technology. I haven't, there's an insider that helped create this technology, and it was used in the Gulf War, and it's basically a sound and neural weapon where they're able to send messages directly to the brain, and it sounds like, people would believe they're hearing God speak to them, and they can send messages. And they actually used it once, and a bunch of the soldiers, they thought they were hearing the voice of God tell them to give up and surrender. And they did. This man, however, I wish I had his name. I should have it. I'm going to try my best to put it in the description box. He is a scientist, and he's a former, he used to be a part of our military defense, and he worked on that. And I watched and I listened to the things that he shared, and I just realized, goodness, there are things that are the size of dust that can be used, and that is smart technology. Neural dust, some of you have heard of, nanobots, all these different things that exist. Some of them has already been unleashed. I do believe that chemtrails are some of this technology. I believe that there are things in the chemtrails that make us sick. I have no doubt about this at this point. I listened to another scientist who is an expert on those things. And there's no doubt, guys, that we are at a place, the advancements and the ability that we have technologically, that we could be attacked. And some people are being attacked already, but some people, like we could be attacked and there not be a single weapon fired. Because I'm talking about sound weapons, weapons that work on different frequencies that affect the human body. It is amazing what they can do now. This new computer, y'all should check this out. It's called the Summit, and it's the fastest computer in the world. It's actually in my state, in Tennessee. I encourage you to look up and find out about that, because what this computer can do is beyond belief. Okay? We have all this power here, and we'd be silly to sit and think, oh, this is all going to be used for good. Nothing evil could happen. Sadly, we live in a fallen world, and this technology will eventually be fully in the hands of our enemy, and he's going to use it against us. And what defense do we have against it? If we want to get talking even about the technology with the chip, and which, a lot of us think is the mark of the beast, and very well could be, easily. We're approaching a time when there are things that will be being weapons that are going to be used against us that we can't in our own strength and our flesh in any way fight at all. No defense. Not in our own flesh and our own strength. That's the important warning that I want to give here, is that your weapons, your money, your possessions, all of these things are not going to be able to help you when this enemy comes against us with this technology, this smart technology weapons. The only thing that's going to help us is going to be God. He is mightier than all of that. He is stronger. His Spirit can give us direction. His angels can hide us. He can protect us in every way that he wants to. So what we need to do right now is recognize that this battle, this final battle, if you will, these weapons, we cannot in our own strength fight against. We are just not going to be able to. We've got to give up the idea that we can do something about it. And we've got to hold fast to the knowledge that only God can help us. Only God can save us from this. And if there's nothing else that I've ever said that is, more important, there's nothing that I've said that's more important than you have to get close to God, trust in him, be willing to give everything up for the Lord, and realize that your only hope and your children's hope is that you give yourself fully to the Lord and seek him daily, study his word, and do warfare in the supernatural. That is what we will have. And I know this sounds very dark, but there is a lot of hope. Come on. We can't see the light if we don't see the depth of the dark. The depth of the dark is very dark. It is very bad when someone can simply send out a sound wave and convince you of something or even cause you to die within 6 minutes. And this is the technology I'm talking about that is already out there. So it's very dark, but there's a very light, like the Lord. Let me say this real quick, and I know I'm running out I don't want to go over much longer, but as the darkness thickens, and as we get closer to this point and we feel the evil increasing, I'm noticing that God is also giving us, his people, larger gifts of faith. Just gifts of discernment. My discernment has increased so much. And so don't be discouraged, because God knows what we each need for this time. And he is going to provide for us. His word is not a lie. God is not a liar. We've got to trust in his word and know that he's going to take care of you. He's going to take care of us, and his will be done in our lives and through us to the end. I'm going to end this now, and I hope that this has encouraged you in some way, but also warned you and helped you understand what we are up against. God bless you.